it's Rachel from 7 and All, and today I'm going to take you on a quick look inside the Letters and Numbers 2 on the Farm unit from Gather Round. This is book 2 in the Letters and Numbers series, and yep, the theme is farm. This Letters and Numbers series is aimed specifically at preschool age kind of children who are just learning their letters and their numbers for the first time. And you might, if you really like the farm theme, I am going to have to recommend don't necessarily just do this one because you like a farm theme, because this is designed to go through the second half of the alphabet. So it will be a little bit weird, I think, if you just did this one unit. It's designed to go with Letters and Numbers 1, which has a forest theme, and I do have a video of that unit on my channel that I can link for you. So Letters and Numbers 1 and Letters and Numbers 2, the two books together are meant to be 26 weeks through the alphabet in 26 weeks. That typical kind of 1 week for one letter type of routine, which is nice and I think commonly understood as a fun way to go through it. Letters and Numbers 3 and 4 will be again 26 weeks through the 26 letters of the alphabet, but at a kind of more difficult level that involves handwriting. This level does not involve any handwriting. So it is more for the younger preschooler, just building awareness and familiarity of letters and their sounds and of numbers and how to use them. And this does have a farm theme, which is a very popular preschool theme for a reason. It's a lot of fun. But what I like about this is the on the farm theme doesn't just mean that you have chickens and roosters and cows all over the workbook pages. Like, it doesn't just stop there. Like, you're actually learning information about farm animals and about plants on the farm. So that's cool. There's actual real content, real learning related to what is grown and raised on farms. So we'll take you on a look inside the teacher's guide and some pages from the student book. I'm not going to take you through the whole entire thing. I just printed what I needed to and wanted to print for this moment, but it's a good look inside. And I skipped, you see, this is the awesome thing about buying digital and printing yourself, is that you can skip the pages that you don't feel like you need to print. So we started right away with the week 1 snapshot. So every week you begin with a little snapshot right here, which tells you what you're covering in science, Bible, math, in the alphabet, and fine motor skills, and art. So you'll see right here we're starting straight in with letter N. This is because the first half of the alphabet was already covered in Letters and Numbers 1. This is the second 13 weeks. And each week is designed to have 4 days, and there's a review that you can do on the 5th day, or you can just work it into your 4-day school week if you'd like. So the first week we're covering horses and apple. And this pattern continues throughout the whole book, that you cover one farm animal each week and one farm plant. It could be a fruit, a vegetable, or a crop. And the Bible is continuing the same Bible pattern that was begun in Letters and Numbers 1, which is you have 1 week, which is an Old Testament Bible story, working chronologically, or maybe not quite chronologically, but through the order of the Bible itself as far as stories. So that's why we're here starting in with Isaac was the promised child. From creation up until Isaac, the major stories were already covered in book 1. So you alternate between an Old Testament story, and then the next week will be a gospel story. And the third week in the rotation is kind of a truth about God, or truth about people's relationship to God. And the math concepts this week is a review of 1 through 6, the numbers taught in the first unit, and the concept of parts and wholes. So that's just giving you, the teacher, idea of what you're going to be doing for the week, so that you can start planning any little add-ons you might want to add with storybooks, with videos, with crafts, activities, experiments. You know, some people want to go totally all out and add in a lot of stuff, and that's really fun when you're doing unit studies, whereas some people just want to keep it simple, get it done, move on to other things. I think for me, I'm somewhere kind of in the middle. I'm not just a let's rush through school and move on to the rest of life, because I do like to spend time on it, and I like to do the fun stuff, but I'm also not a super planner. I actually tend to make up my plans at the last minute. So tell me in the comments down below, which kind are you? Do you have everything already? Do you do all the extras? Do you do 0 extras and 0 planning? Or are you somewhere more in the middle of the spectrum? I'd love to know. We all have our own personality and we make it work for our families. So you begin day 1. It's the same structure as letters and numbers 1. You have your animal, Holly Horse, here. You have a little review questions, simple review questions of the information that you read. And then you have a little short reflection or thoughts on the Bible story, which always directs you to reading the actual story in a children's Bible storybook. So you can read that. Then the second day is more information about the horse, kind of going into a different area on the second day with the animal, continuing with the same story. So it's one Bible story for the week. I like that it's not just constant new information, but it's taking the time for the information to really have time to sink in and be memorable, rather than having so much breadth and not enough depth. And then we get to do our apples, which I love that it's not only animals. We're having the variety of animals and plants, fruits, vegetables on the farm each week. We get 2 days on apples. And back in the Week at a Glance, they always give you little ideas of, hey, you can extend this by making some kind of food involving apples. Get your kids in the kitchen. And more into apples, the parts of an apple right here. We have the end of our Bible story for the week, and we have our review page that comes at the end of the week, which always has a few review questions, an idea for an optional activity or game, and a little prayer. And that's 1 week. Then week 2 is going to be the same thing, just different topics. We're getting onto a rooster and peanut plants here, and we're on our gospel story. Jesus was the promised child. Note the connection from the first week. Isaac was a promised child, and Jesus is the promised child. We have our little life skills box down here for a practical skill and a memory skill that you can opt to use if you would like. Learning about roosters, and then peanuts for 2 days. And then moving on to a review. And then you're going on to your week 3, which is Clara Cow and Strawberry. So it just continues the same way for 13 weeks. You get to cover lots of animals, including ducks and dogs, cats. Let me think what else. Oh, you get to learn about water buffalo. And some of the crops you learn about, you don't only learn about fruits, like the colorful things, but you also get to learn about wheat, rice, corn, lots of things like that. So it's very, you get to really cover a lot about farms, not just the cutesy stuff, but real stuff. You know, rice and corn and wheat, those are all super important crops in the world. So I love that. And it's very easy to make little connections, get your kids involved in the kitchen, to see more about where their food comes from. So you'll get to learn about lots of different animals and plants, farm plants, in the teacher's guide. And then you have your worksheets in the student book, which this is kind of just diving into week 1. The first day of week 1 was introducing the letter N. Then they're continuing with the messy art activities that they did from the first book, which this is an opportunity to just get messy. My son loves to do painting the letters. That's his favorite. But you can do glitter. You can do stickers. You can sprinkle rice on it. You can do whatever kind of messy thing your little heart desires. I think it's important to do the messy play. And there's nothing on the back. So make sure, especially in the student book, that you start on an odd page in your printing so that all the back of the pages can line up. Here is some science about horses and the life cycle of mammals, or the life cycle of a horse in general, which there's a really nice watercolor illustration in the appendix and cutouts in the appendix from the stages of life as a horse, from the horse in its mother's stomach to the baby foal, and they're doing a female horse, so then it's a filly, and then it grows up to be a mare. So learning some terms, learning a little bit of science here. Then here is a counting practice. We've got the little counting images, which all of these images tie into the number friends that you will probably remember from letters and numbers 1. So like 5 is going fishing and 2 is wearing shoes. So the same objects are used for the counting objects. Here is just a little bit of math and science tie-in, counting different body parts of a horse. How many fingers does a horse have? 0. 0 means nothing. Bring that in. Then practicing tracing on the lines for different kinds of lines, bringing the horses home. Oh, here is our phonics sound page. No, we've got our letter friend N with a nose. Words that begin with N. And this is our parts and wholes concept. A slice of an apple isn't a whole apple, it's just a part. So here it's a cutting opportunity. Your child can practice cutting things out. Then they can sort, put things that are parts into one side and put everything in a whole on another side. You could have them glue it onto a paper or just physically put them in different piles. This is sorting, uppercase and lowercase differentiation, coloring the apples red or green. And there's a little idea for a little experiment here. We'll do apples sink or float. Ask your child to predict. Here are the journaling or dictation pages that you had all throughout letters and numbers 1. Your child will dictate to you what they want to say, building language skills, and while you write it down, and then they get to draw a picture. So this one, they get to tell you about apples. You can prompt them what colors they are, how they taste, what kind of plant they grow on, the kinds of desserts you can make with apples. So it's all connected to what they're learning about in their book, in the teacher's guide. This is the mini book. Every week ends with a little mini book project. Same as in the first, so hopefully you've saved all the A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all those books from the first one. You can have your whole collection of the alphabet soon. Then here is one more little math page, but again, or tracing page, but it's also connected to the math concept. Which plates have holes, which have parts on them, while you're also getting to trace in a circle. So, and that is just a little example. Oh, then here, this is starting into the next week. Lesson 5 is the new letter you're learning about is the letter O. So, each day you just have three little worksheets, and that's it. So it's very simple. The Ready to Read program has 4 worksheets, but the preschool has 3 worksheets, which I think is pretty much a really perfect amount for this age level. Just a little bit of time to get in with the paper, learn what you need to learn, then you can go and have fun with storybooks. I think we have so many great farm-related storybooks that we love. Click, Clack, Moo. I heard about it for a long time and I didn't know what the big deal was, and then I read it and I thought it was hilarious. It has a little bit of the dark humor, which that's always a surprise in children's books, and I kind of love it. So that's a fun one. We've got lots of books on tractors because my son loves tractors. Anything with a tractor is a big hit, and I will tell you, there's actually a number of activities in the student book that involve tractors. Like there's matching uppercase to lowercase letters, but they're uppercase letters on tractors, and then they're pulling machines with the lowercase letter on them. And something like that, my son is going to be super excited about, because he loves the tractors. And there's some green tractors in there, which we're a bit of a John Deere family, so we appreciate that. So I hope that you liked this flip through. If you have any more questions about letters and numbers 1 and 2, feel free to ask me. I'm happy to make any more videos if you would like, or just answer your questions in the comments below. So go ahead and give this video a thumbs up if it was helpful and you enjoyed it, and you can subscribe to my channel 7 and All for more creative and adventurous homeschool content. Bye!